In this video, I'll go through one of my projects that I recently made it. To make everything easier to understand, I split the tutorial into two main parts, and each of these parts covering a different part of design and animation. So don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel because it really helps to support the channel. Alright, so like always, I just want to let you know that you can have full access to the project file, to the sound design project file, all the sound design, all the asset and everything from the first link in description. So if you want it, you just need to check it out. So for the first reference, we have something like this, and honestly I'm gonna make the design first and then go for the rest of that. So basically for the first step, I just need to grab a reference from the background with the Control Y and make a solid color for that and name it as a BG, and I can turn this off to be able to see all the reference. Let's make these two together first. So I downloaded an image which is a check, so I'm gonna put it at the center first and then do a circle shape around it, but make sure you hold the shift from your keyboard and then again center it out. And the shortcut that I'm using for that, it's Control Shift Alt Home and Control Home, so it'll be easily centered. I don't need any fill for that, but I need a stroke, of course. Also it should be white. I need to select it and make it white. Maybe I'm gonna put around 4, but the only problem down here is about the check. For making the color proper, I just need to drop a fill color on it and change the color to something around white. And if I easily scale it down a little bit, maybe turn this off, I can put it exactly at the center of the circle. So after this, I just need to parent the bottom layer to that one and maybe change the color to be able to recognize it better. And right now when I scale it down, I'm able to see the shape properly. But the only things right now is about the size of the stroke, so I have to fix it to be able to see it properly. Maybe I can make it 14. I think that should be good. But let me bring this back again, pre-comp this one first and name it as a check. And for making it much more organized, I'm gonna make a comp border and put the check inside it. So right now I just need to put it in the right place, but I have to make sure to check this option to be able to see the best quality result. And about this setting icon, it's pretty easy. I just need to drag and drop this image, give it a color key to be able to remove the background color. It doesn't matter what is it. Maybe play with the tolerance and make it a little bit thin, and also 1 or 2 feather to that. I think that's pretty much good. And then I can drop a fill color to that to change the color to something like white, and then I can just readjust it to the right place. But the most important things in design is about how I'm supposed to find the right place for that. So I always use a rulers for the right place. So I can put a rulers down here, and you also can bring it up with a Control R and just play with it and put some lines in your compositions and put it in the right place. Then we need the text, make the color white, and I think it should be the regular size, maybe the medium one. Also the font would be SF Pro. I can make the anchor point center with the Motion 4, and you can also find the font Motion 4 Flow and the FX console that I'm using over here for completely free on my Discord channel, and you can find the link in description. Again, I just need to readjust this one to the right place and then a setting, and for having it in a right place, I just need to hold the shift from my keyboard and then move it to the right place. And it's time to make the main shape, so it's pretty easy. I just need to draw a circle and make it center, maybe give it 9 or maybe 3. Yeah, I think 3 would be amazing amount for that. So I'm gonna make it 95 something balance, not that much big, not that much small, and put a test text on the center. And maybe I'm gonna make this regular to have it a little bit thinner, and then we're gonna come to down here. So for making this, I just need to make another circle down here and make the anchor point center by using Motion 4 down here and give it around 1 or 2 stroke. Put it in the right place and drag and drop this image, and like a previous one, drop a color key on it, get the reference from the color and play with tolerance, and then give it a fill and make it white. Then I can readjust it and put it in the right place. And I'm gonna do the same exact things for the right one, which is gonna be this one. I'm gonna hold the shift to have it in the right place. Then again, find the right image, put it over here. I don't want to do it again, so the only things that I have to do is just copy the color key first and paste it over here, and then copy the fill and paste it over here. So I'm gonna have the exact same things, and then I can readjust it to the right place. Now let me give you a quick tip. So So if you have some shape and you want to put it at the center of the other shape, so the only things that you have to do is just hold the control from your keyboard and come into the closest spot that you find to the anchor point, and then easily move it. So it will easily snap to the center of that shape and it will be stick to the center. So let me bring everything back again. The only things is the layer management, which is going to be connecting this one to this one and connecting this one to this one. So I'm going to pre-comp this one as a maybe profile, and let me find it down here, put it in the comp folder, maybe change the composition color. Also for this one, network, drop it into the right place and change the color to something like orange. And the only things that we have to do is just do these text, which is completely fine and easy. All right, so this is gonna be the text. All of the text are just regular SF Pro. Also, there is one more thing that I'm gonna let you know, and it's a color code of this blue and the grayish color that we have down here. You can just use these hex code and comes out with exact color that we have in this project. So I can easily just turn this one off and turn this one on. Right now it's time to animate it. So basically, for making it understandable in the movement, what I'm gonna do is just changing the color of some of these layers like this one to be able to recognize it to comparison to the other one. So basically I have to put the setting on the top of the flat, which is this one, and change the color to something similar to be able to recognize it. Also do the same exact things with the result and change the color to something which is understandable for us. And I think it would be better if I just move these two layers to the very bottom to be able to have it at the first. So what I'm gonna do is just put a keyframe for the scale and comes up a little bit forward, easily make this scale at the first a little bit higher like this, and then easily come into the flow and give it some graph like this, which is really fast at the first and really slow at the end. And if you see, we're gonna comes up with something like this. Or maybe I can make it much more intense by making these 2 points closer to each other and making these 2 keyframes closer to each other. Drop opacity on the line down here. I just put 20 frame between them, and it's gonna be 0 at the first and then 100 after 20 frame. So the only problem that we have down here is about the color of this stroke. So if I just grab a stroke and drop a gradient ramp on it, we can make a gradient on this one, right? So by using this effect, we can make a simple gradient by having access to 2 different points that we can separately choose color for them. And I'm gonna show you right now. So for the first color, I'm gonna come over here and drop something like this on it. And for the second color, I'm gonna open up the panel and then drop the color in it. And if you wonder what I'm doing over here, I'm using different hex code to be able to have the same exact color that I have in my project. Readjust the color and put the lighter one on the bottom and the darker one on the top to be able to comes up with something like this. Or we can swap the colors to have it something exactly opposite, and if you want, we can play with the position of this one. But exactly down here, I'm gonna do some extra scale to that, but because it has to be blended with the previous animation, I obviously have a scale down here, so I'm not going to be able to put a new scale down here. So what I can do is just connect this stroke to a new null object. So I can use a shortcut Control Shift Alt Y from the keyboard and make a new null object, put it on the top of these 2 layers, maybe change the color and parent this one to that null object. And right now I can easily play with this null object and move only the stroke down here because I only parent the stroke to this null object down here. So I can find the right spot that I'm going to do the extra animation under, and then hit the scale on the null object and come 5 frame forward and 5 frame backward. And this structure is one of the famous structure that I'm using in all of my animation. If you see any of my tutorial before, you probably see this structure a lot. So then I can easily change the middle one to something a little bit lower and have something like this, or even I can make it 85, but still it's not that much good for me. I need to make it a little bit bouncy, and for making it something like that, I just need to open the expression channel from my Discord channel, copy the scripts that I put down there, and just easily hold the Alt from your keyboard and hit the toggle animation of that property that you're gonna work with it, and then easily paste the script that you copied from my Discord channel. So then you can easily comes out with something like this, but actually I have to add some detail to that. So for doing that, I just need to duplicate the stroke with Control D and cut it out from here and remove the before that because I don't need it. Open up the scale. Maybe I can just remove the scale down here. Maybe I'm gonna do Control Shift H from my keyboard to be able to remove the extra things that it shows to me. And then I can easily do a scale for this layer and comes out a little bit forward and make the scale a little bit high. And it would be something like this, right? And if I do opacity for it and turn the opacity to 0 to something like this, we can easily have something like this. So if you play with the distance between these two keyframes, you can make it just slower or faster. So I'm gonna do a gradient on a text layer. So I easily need to grab the circle and do a circle down here, make it center with the same shortcut and give it some color like this. And if I add some fastbox blur to that and play with it a little bit, I can come out with something like this, and I can easily bring it to the top of the test layer, and maybe I can change the color and easily mat it to the layer down here. So I'm gonna be able to have it over here, and then I can turn this layer back again, and I can easily put this down over here out of the layer and play with the position. So I'm gonna open up the position and do a position for that and go a little bit forward and push it to down here somewhere out of this layer. So we're gonna have some movement like this, and I can easily open up the motion for it that you can find it on my Discord channel for completely free and do some graph like this for that. So it would be something like this. I can play with the keyframe a little bit, play it again, and maybe move it a little bit backward. But the problem down here is it's on the layer over here. So I'm gonna move it a little bit backward. Honestly, I'm gonna make it something around 55 or 56. I think this is gonna be much more better. Let's just start with the top one. We just need to find the right layers and do a position for all of them. So I'm gonna put a position keyframe, go forward for about 5 to 7 frame. It depends on you. If you're gonna have something smoother, you're gonna put more distance between your keyframe. If you're gonna have something sharper, you have to make it closer to each other. But I'm gonna do 7 frame. Push it a little bit to the bottom, something like this. But the thing is, I have to make it reverse. Like it should be bottom at the first and then come to the right place. But I did it exactly reverse, so I don't want to do it again. So the only things that I have to do is just select all the keyframe, click right on one of those keyframe, come into the keyframe assistant and time reverse the keyframe. So it's going to be completely opposite, and it would be something like this, but I'm going to make it kind of bouncy. So I'm going to hold the alt, click on a toggle animation of that property that we're going to make it kind of bouncy, and then easily paste it down here. So it will be something like this, right? So if I do it for all the other properties, it will be something really better. So the game changer down here would be the offset. So I can easily do one offset, 1 frame forward, and push this layer 1 frame forward. We can see that we easily have something like this, right? Cut this one from here and push all of them 1 frame forward. So it will be something better. So right now it's time to do the bottom one. So I'm gonna select all of them and then hit P from the keyboard to open up the position property. Go 7 frame forward, do other keyframe, come back to the first keyframe and push them a little bit to the bottom. And if we copy and paste the same script to all of these properties, we're gonna be able to have something like this, and the trick will be the offset. So exactly down here, we're gonna add the mouse that we have. So I'm gonna drag and drop the mouse layer. It's a 3D layer. So when you drag and drop it, it's already 3D. So you have to play with the axis that we have down here. So basically, I'm gonna turn down the scale to something about 90 and make it a little bit smaller, and comes up to the right place. The right place would be exactly down there when we have this popped up animation, right? It's exactly down here. So about here, when it increases a little bit, right? About here, when it increases a little bit, I'm gonna push this in. So I'm gonna put a position for this one and come back a little bit and put other keyframe for the position. Cut it out from here because I don't need the before of that. Open up the position again and push this layer to out of the frame down here. And then for making it a little bit better, I can grab the pen down here and do a curve for this one. It would be good, but it still needs some details. So I'm gonna open up the rotation, do some keyframe for the Z axis, and if I play with it, you'll be noticed that I'm gonna move it in this axis, right? And over here it should be exactly this, but when it's out of the frame, we're gonna move it to something around here. So we will be add some rotation to that for making it much more realistic. And then we're gonna make it really fast at the first and really slow at the end. So it would be something like this. And exactly when it comes to the right place, we're gonna add some scale to that. So let me hit the U from the keyboard to have the position and rotation down here, and hold the shift from the keyboard and hit the S from the keyboard and open up the scale. Easily grab the scale for it. Go 5 frame forward, do a keyframe, and 5 frame backward, and do a keyframe. And at the middle one, I'm gonna do some scale down. But the things down here is about, I'm gonna add a little bit detail to that. So I'm gonna open up the rotation and play with the orientation also. So do the same exact keyframe for both of them. But because I'm using some 3D layer, I have some advantage to the 2D layers. So I can just play with it like this and have some depth in our cursor. So again, I'm gonna give them all same scripts. So down here, first of all, before I move to the next step, I'm gonna add the null object to this one and cut it out from here. Maybe change the layer color to something around orange, and then connect it to this one, like the cursor to the null object. I don't need to make it 3D. I'm gonna add the rotation and position down here, and add a position and rotation to this one, and move the null object to the out of the frame, right? And I can also play with the rotation to have the exact same things that I was talking about it. Play with the pen to have some curve down here. I think this is gonna be good. So I can make it a little bit slower at the first and a little bit faster at the end, so we can blend these two animations together. So I can easily reverse this one and add it to here. So it would be something like this, and I can push this a little bit backward or even more. I think this should be good. I think this should be awesome. Yeah, it is. So exactly over here, when we have the click down here, what I can do is just comes up to this one. So let me change the color to something like orange, which is just completely obvious comparison to the other one, and then duplicate this layer. So exactly down here, I'm gonna cut it out because I don't need it before of that, and I can easily add a fill color to that. The color will be good, but I have to remove the gradient that I have down here, right? So then I can turn down the opacity to something around 70 and easily do a keyframe for the opacity, but I don't need the before of that, right? Because it's a new layer. So I can easily play with opacity and turn down to 0 about somewhere around here. So we're gonna have some click animation down here. Exactly down here, I can add some graph like this to make it a little bit faster at the first and then slower at the end. So when we do the click, we have to do some scale down to make it much more realistic. But as you remember, I connect all of these layers to one null object before that to make some extra animation for the scale. So I'm gonna use the exact same things to don't have any conflict between the motions. So I can do the same exact structure that I have down here for this. 5 frame forward, do a keyframe, 5 frame backward, and do a keyframe. So I can scale down a little bit, about 87, around 87. I think it would be good. So let me do something down here. If I come over here and just deparent this layer down here, I can have everything in the right place, but the only thing is it's not gonna follow this null object to scale down and scale up or anything in this null object, right? And also because I already adjust everything in the right place, if I just deparent it right now, nothing will be happen and it's not gonna cause any problem. Make sure when you're gonna deparent this layer, coming to the right place, like exactly when you're gonna pop up this one, right? Because let me show it to you. If I just do a Control Z to have everything in the right place and then deparent it from over here, let's see what will be happen. As you see, it's not gonna be in the right place down here. So we're gonna come into the right place and have to start in the right place and then deparent it. So it will follow everything in the right place. And the only things that we have to do would be the last point and last keyframe that we have, that I just need to scale it up a little bit. And I can also add some keyframe to this one. If we have something like this, I can also push this one a little bit backward. And also we have opacity, right? So I have turned the opacity backward a little bit. But I think I make it really big, so I don't want to do that. Again, give it the same and maybe play with this. So then I can easily come and find this stroke down here, which is gonna be this one, which is this layer. Then I'll have the click down here. I have to do some animation for that. Basically, I'm gonna add a trim path to that. And maybe you wonder that what I'm gonna do with the trim path down here. So basically, the things that I'm gonna do with the trim path, it just cuts some part of the layer down here, right? So I can easily handle the layer in a right place. So basically, I'm gonna come to the click down here and make this start 0 and the end 100 to have a perfect circle down here, and then do a keyframe for the trim path down here and come a little bit forward about maybe 10 frame or something like that, and easily place it in a right place. Maybe I'm gonna add 20% to the start and subtract 20% from the end, which it comes to something like this. Or if I'm gonna make it closer, I can add 15% to the start and subtract 15% from the end, which is gonna be 85. I'm gonna use a new feature that you can find in a new version of the Adobe, and it's gonna be stroke width. We can play with this stroke width also. So I'm gonna do exact same keyframe for the stroke width in a property of the stroke of this layer, and then I can easily play with the stroke down here and make it to something around 48, or I can make it a little bit thinner, more maybe about 40. Add a rotation to that. So if I open a rotation and come over here, also do a keyframe for the rotation in a right exact same place and rotate it for 180 degree, I can have it exactly opposite way, right? So it would be something like this, and I can select all of these keyframe and add some graph like this, which is really fast at the first. So it would be something like this, right? And for making it much more better, what I'm gonna do is just select this layer and then easily come into the keyframe interpolation, make it linear and make the distance about 8 to 7 frame, and easily copy the expression that we had and add it to this rotation. But I think it's a lot of rotation down here, right? So I can easily open up the property down here and make the amplitude 0.2 and the frequency 1.0. So it would be awesome down here. And around here, I can easily play with the gradient, right? So I'm gonna do something. Grab a duplicate from this one, and for now, we can turn the duplicate off. So I'm gonna open up the setting of the gradient ramp of the top layer, which we can see right now, and do some readjustment on the color. Like the top one would be the lighter one, right? Change it to some color like this. And for the bottom one, which is going to be the darker color, to something around here, which is darker than that one. So when it turns to this, we're going to have something like this, right? But the only things that I have to care about it is about this circle that I have down here. It should be at the bottom of all of these layers, right? So then it will be good. I also need to play with opacity a little bit. Make it about 45. But the things down here is about, if you see the color of this stroke down here will be ruined, right? But we don't need it, right? So I can cut it out from here and add opacity to that. About 5 frame distance, add some other keyframe and turn the first one to 0. I don't need the before of it. So it will be something like this. But before of it, I'm gonna use this duplicate one, right? And also I'm gonna add opacity for this one. So let me turn up the opacity and then do an opacity in exact same place. But I have to do the opposite one. So over here, this one is 0 and then it turns to 100. And for the bottom layer, which is a stroke down here, it should be 100 over here and be completely appear down here because we need it, and because obviously we need it. And then over here, we have to make it about 0. We need to do a duplicate from this layer again, and I don't need to have any opacity down here. So basically I'm gonna add a scale to down here, a little bit forward, make this a little bit higher, and I can easily cut this off from here, open up scale down here, remove all the properties that we have before it. We can easily make something like this, right? And basically I can do opacity for this one, make this 0 about here. So it would be something like this. The main things that I'm gonna do over here is about adding some wave to this stroke down here. So I'm gonna hit the Ctrl-Shift-H from my keyboard to remove all the extra annoying things and then play with the size and the width. But the main things that I have to care about it is about put this layer behind this one. So when we do the click, this will be popped up. But I'm gonna make the scale a little bit down. Let me have the opacity down here and maybe play with this one a little bit. Or I can move it to the top of this layer actually, and then easily bring back the opacity. Exactly down here, I have to do a position for all of these things. So for the top one, I'm gonna do a position and then go 5 to 7 frame forward and then do a keyframe again and push them to the top. So I can easily do opacity for them also. This time go forward 2 frame less than the position, or maybe 3 frame. And right now we're gonna have something like this, and I can easily add an offset about 1 to 2 frame to them. So basically down here, before I move on to the next part, what I'm gonna do is just add the reference. So actually for this top one, I just copy this one, which is a part of the speed test. I just grab it from the website and just upscale it a little bit, have a better quality. So I can solo this one and drag a color key on it like the previous things that I've done before, and try to remove the color from it. Something like this. I think it should be good. But I have a border down here that I don't want it. The things that I can do is just grab a square down here after I made everything properly and do a mask down here. So it will be exactly what I want. And then I can easily play with it even more. And then I can drop the fill on it and change the fill to something like white. So right now the only things that I have to do is just pre-comp this one, move all attribute, then change the color to something different. And then I can easily grab a square and do a mask around each of these icons. So then I can easily move this one to the right place, like click on M from your keyboard and then select the mask, and then easily by holding shift from your keyboard move it in the right spot. Again, duplicate it with Ctrl D, hit M from keyboard, select the mask, hold the shift and move it to the right place. And just keep doing it. Everything in the right spot. So I can select everything, use a motion force so we can make all the ends centered, and I can turn off the solo. And maybe I'm gonna connect it to the main object and scale it down a little bit and put it in the right spot. I'm gonna do a shape down here and then come over here and drag an eyedropper and grab a reference from this one. I can see that I have a hex code down here. I can easily grab this hex code, remove this one, open up the composition that I had, and open up the fill setting, add the hex. So it will be registered on all the layers over here, and they can easily have the same thing. So then I can move them to the right place. So then I can come over here and write down the pink. Let me just cut this off from here, and I also want to remove this null object from these layers because I don't need it anymore. But basically I'm gonna split this pink MS to 2 different layers. So instead of writing it in 2 different layers, I just wrote it down in the same layers. So I can use Text Explorer that you can find it for completely free on my Discord channel, put it on some setting like this, then apply it to the layer so you can have it in separate layers. Then again, I'm gonna make the anchor point centered and come for these shapes down here. So I can easily draw a circle down here, make it center, like the anchor point center, no fill. I need the stroke, but the stroke has to be 1, I guess, right? So right now I can readjust the position, but before I readjust it, I just want to grab a reference from the color that I have down here. And for this one down here, what I'm gonna do is just grab the pen and do some shape like this. Let me just turn off this layer down here. So first of all, I'm gonna turn this to something around 4 or 3. I think 4 would be better. Put the anchor point somewhere around here. I think it's good. I'll let you know why I did that. But before I continue, I just want to open up the line cap in this stroke and make both of them round to be able to have a round edges down here. And then I can just cut the before. So basically duplicate it, control right on it, come into the transform panel and flip it vertically, adjust it in the right place like this. And after that, if I just transfer it, flip it horizontally, we're gonna be able to come up with something like this, which is pretty accurate. So I can easily pre-comp this one and make it like arrows, maybe with 2S. I don't know, whatever works for you. And I can easily come over here and put the anchor point to the center, this one. And maybe what I'm gonna do is just find the right place down here. I'm gonna mark it with the rulers and push this to the right place. Actually, I think this is gonna be good. Then we're gonna go for the second thing, doing something like this. Grab a reference from this color down here. So I need a stroke down here, something like this, something like this, right? I have to search for the line cap, make both of the option rounded. Also for this one, I can easily have something proper. Pre-comp these two, push it to the right place. Pre-comp these two. Also, I have to pre-comp these two layers. So this one should be 1, this one should be 2. Cut it out from here. Maybe change the colors. Again, a circle. I don't want to do the arrow again. The only things that I have to do is just open up this one. And as you see, I have the arrow down here. I can easily copy it and then come back to over here and just paste it down here. So I can turn it out to over here, open up the rotation. But first of all, I have to grab the anchor point and push to the middle and center it out. And then I can easily play with the rotation and comes out with something like this. Cut it out from here and then again pre-comp it and change the color and name it as a maybe 4. I just want to open it up and add a fill and grab the fill color and it should be fixed. And a simple stroke line down here and do the same exact color that I have down here. I also need to add some numbers to down here. This should be 4, duplicated, and put this down here. Need to cut the extra one, remove this reference that I have down here. So everything is perfectly aligned and they're in the right spot. So the only things that I have to do is just finding these layers, finding the right spot that they're going out of the frame, and then exactly around here, I'm gonna start cut these off from here and then do a position for this. Go 5 frame forward or 7 frame forward, push them down, and then give them the same script that we have. Good. I can do a 2 frame offset for them. It will be something like this. And exactly down here, I'm gonna go for this one. So I'm gonna cut it out from here. I don't need the before of it. And then open up the position, come back to the first frame, and push everything to the top. And then add a script to that. And maybe I'm gonna put 2 frame offset on these two. Around here, I'm gonna remove the text down here, right? So I'm gonna find the text, gonna be this one, cut it out from here, open up this text exploder scripts and put it on a characters and apply it. So I'm gonna split it down to different characters in about 8 frames. I can push them down, and about 4 to 5 frame, I can do opacity for them. So I'm gonna do opacity 5 frame forward or 4 frame forward and do opacity, make this 0 down here. So right now I can easily find the layers and place 2 or 1 frame offset, and don't forget to push them back when you need the offset. So the only things that we need to move is the keyframe, not the main layers. So it will be something like this, and I like it, it's good. But let me again grab this back and put it to the right place, like about here, and just try to do the numbers down here. So let me write down the numbers. So basically I have a bunch of layers down here, which all of them are some numbers. I just want to do some extra things down here. I'm gonna make this 147 and have this one down here. This should be regular, but I just want to change the color of this layer and then center the anchor point first and then connect it to one null object. So I can easily remove this layer down here and then place it in a right place down here. Cut them all from here and then do a position for all of them in 6 frame, push them all to bottom, and then again copy the scripts on them. It would be better if I do an offset like this. So 0 and thousands will be together, and then these 2 numbers will come together, and then these 2 comes together, and just keep doing it like this. So it would be something like this down. I can remove the null object because I'll just want to readjust the position and then put the numbers down here. So let me find 100. Let me find the center of the 100, and then I can easily grab the 143 to the center. Exactly down here. What I'm gonna do, just cut it out from here and do a position for it. Also, I need to put opacity, or I can do something else. To do a position for it in 8 frame, push it to the bottom and give it a script. Also, this scale is super high, so I'm gonna make it less. Let me change the color actually. I also want to add some Gaussian blur to that and make this blur at the first and then gradually turn to 0, which is the obvious one. So it would be something like this. I have to click on this checkbox. This is good, but I think it's too much, so I can make it 15. Give it a fill color, grab a color from here, make it much more brighter, and then do a color down here. Turn this to white around here. So basically it would be something like this. So basically the stroke will be this one, right? I'm gonna change the color to something like yellow to make it kind of different with the other layers. So I'm gonna duplicate this one and also change this one, right, to something like peach, for example. And everything is same, but the only things which it has different will be the color that we choose for these 2 points. So basically for the first point, I'm gonna put something like this, and for the second point, I'm gonna go with something like this. And then I can easily adjust this one to over here, this one to around here. I can cut it out from here because I don't need the before of that. If you remember, I added some trim path to that. Let me open it up. This one, right? So we have a trim path. So right now, if I play with the end, you see I can close it up down here. If I put exact same number with the start, we cannot see anything anymore, like a 15%, which is the same as the start. But if I change this one and increase it after 15, I can complete it, right? With this logic that if it be 15, we cannot see anything. And if it be more than 15, we can gradually add some to it. We can completely understand that how we're supposed to make this animation. So let me clarify it for you. For the first, we don't need any things to be filled over here. So I'm gonna put it at 15. It doesn't matter how much frame you wanna put between them. After some frame, we have to increase the end till wherever we wanna continue it, right? And then I can easily see that I have some animation like. So I can easily add some graph like this, intense graph. I think this is good. I can even continue it a little bit more. I think about here it will be, or even I can use a flow. We have to change the number down here. At the first of it, it should be 0, right? Well, let me just cut this off. And before this, it has to be 0. And let me parent this to a null object. We're gonna put some rulers over here to be able to find the right place. And I can easily move this number to the right place with the null object. And the reason that I'm doing this is completely obvious. Because if I want to do it on the layers, I have some position already. And I'm gonna ruin the position. But if I do it with a null object, there's nothing happening. Everything will be steady and I'm gonna have it in a different position and different place. Then around here, I'm gonna turn this to about something around 10 maybe, and I can connect this to a null object, move it to somewhere what I want, and then easily remove the null. It will be 10 about here. Let's do maybe 56. For adding some extra stuff to that, we can just grab the main composition and put it in a new composition like this. I don't like this color actually. And then add a simple scale down here. This one, something around here. And then a null object, parent it to this one, and do a scale back. Maybe I'm gonna do a motion forward down here, 66, to have something smoother, and place it in the right place. Actually, this is it. I know it's not a lot of motion graphics, but I'm pretty sure that you can find so many useful stuff and so many useful technique in it. I hope it will be helpful to you. And don't forget that your like and subscribe would be amazing and a huge support from me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next video.